and tell us where you're at.
I'm not in sunny Florida. Okay, I'm not.
Frostbite? That
Yes, we
frost?
did. Yes, we
Nice,
did. And I
nice.
couldn't get my windshield wipers unstuck from the windshield until the car was like 80 degrees.
Oh
So
man. Oh,
we hope that's the last time, you know. It's been in the 60s since.
I don't miss it. I'll be honest with you.
Mm.
So check this out. I've been working on your site, but it again, I like to stress that we don't do just websites, right? It's more than that. It's a whole system. And as far as the proposal goes and what I've been explaining to you about the system, it is a CRM, right? But it has an all-inclusive system where it has a nurturing campaign, email marketing, text messaging. It also manages your Google profile, LinkedIn, connects all your social media. So if you wanted to get into that part of things, it has that all tied into one place, and communication all in one place. So you don't have to go juggling for all of this stuff. So what we're doing with your money, let's say that, right? You don't want to be wasting your money. There's a ton of people promising things. So these $100, $200 websites are very common. They serve its purpose. But I also wanted to just break down a little bit of the differences so that you know the value of what you're getting, right? So first and foremost is security, right? You want your information to be safe, and one of the first things we notice is it's not HTTPS. So we're going to just head into it, and I think there's a way to just get into it here. Who's hosting your website? Do you know?
GoDaddy.
Real Homes 247.com, right?
Yes.
All right, you might need to look into that because I don't know if is it working on your end? Do you want to double check?
Sure.
It was working for me. But right now it says site can't be reached. And you know what? It's funny because I was just telling you about me having this very issue just yesterday, and it ended up being a hosting issue because I was using a different host, and I only found out when I double checked my sites. I usually do a site check daily. So yesterday morning I realized there was two of my sites were down, and it just had to do with my hosting on my hosting side, and I repaired that pretty quickly, got it back up and running. So in the meantime, if you double check it and it's up, great. Let me know. If it's not popping up, just we'll just move forward with this.
I need to add um
You know what? Don't even worry about it. If it's gonna take too much time, we'll just move on with this. Because I know you've been talking about
well, I know what it is.
you know what it is?
I got a similar issue.
Okay. So it
Um,
sounds like an easy fix. Just we're not gonna weigh too heavy on that. Um, the comparisons are night and day. Okay, because The difference of giving your information, like a website, and just having somewhere to land, versus giving someone your information and taking them through a journey. And one of the things that I like to do is, I know we already went over the templates, but now that we have the templates up and everything's working, this is kind of like the difference, right? You want to, like, a call to action. You want to tell your prospects what to do. These are the steps to take. And along those lines is just kind of holding their hand virtually without even being there. This is step one. This is step two. This is step three. That way, you build a little bit of confidence, and you also position yourself as an authority in your field. So, a lot of people don't know where to start, a lot of people don't know what to expect, but they want to move forward. So, part of developing a website and a system is not only to tell them what to do, but how to do it. And then the back end is tracking it. So, did the person fall off on step two? What are you going to do if that happens? Are you going to be able to follow up with them? Did they fill out the form that you're requesting? Great. How are you going to get that information and make it useful to you? So, in your world, in the real estate world, there's the buyer, the seller, there's the financing, and then there's, I think, the title. Any other elements that I'm missing? The buyer, the seller, financing. So you have your pre-approval. Then there's the title work that needs to be done. Anything else,
Many,
like, before you
many.
close?
Um, you have the normal inspections that are done.
Inspections.
Um, there's the home inspection. Then there's an inspection for the water, if they
Hmm.
have like a septic tank or something like that. There's commonly the radon inspection to determine if there's any gases coming up from the ground into the house that could be dangerous.
Yeah. So
Many
we'll
times,
just put that all under inspections,
yep,
because that's a big part of the real estate, that element, right?
yep,
So I'm thinking inspections, just based on what you just told me in a few seconds. We need a whole nother tab just for that, what they can expect, what they should get ready on the buyer and on the seller side. So
yeah.
you'll
Because
have that.
there's also in our area we have a municipal inspection for the use and occupancy of the property. So that usually is an application that the seller has to pay for in order to have the inspection done. And many times in the agreement, it expresses the point of having a clear certificate of occupancy. So having that clear is something that the seller has to schedule and negotiate a terms condition of anything the seller would like to be fixed before closing. So all of that is part of the processes of inspections that are needed to be done before closing.
I love that. That's great. So that inspections, that's why we have these conversations, right? Because now I'm not a realtor, I'm not a mortgage broker, but we do know some basic elements to closing a deal from start to finish, and inspections is one of them. And then there's so many layers to that. So that is something that I'm going to add right now as we speak. Um, so we're going to add that. In the meantime, we're just going to go over what we already have, right? From the buyer's point of view, we're going to have different sections that cover why use an agent, the process. These are just placeholders. I already have a ton of content that I'm going to fill it in with, already
Okay.
branded to you and your name
Hmm.
and your brand.
Hmm.
So That's going to go through. It's going to go through all the steps, what to expect.
And
It's going to have,
I also have a bio that I can send you that I had done as well.
yeah, that'll be great. That'll be great. That'll be right on the home and the about me.
Okay.
Um, we have the seller process, what to expect. And again, we're also going to have a call to action after all of these steps, above and below the steps. That way, if they already want to move forward, they qualified themselves as a seller, and they'll be able to start the process right from here. Home financing in your world, obviously, financing is key, and the pre-approval process is probably the first thing they want to start with before even searching for homes, because it saves their time and your time as a real estate agent.
Hmm.
Are they within budget or out of budget, like right
Hmm.
from the get-go? And if they're
Hmm.
approved, right? So you're not
Right.
wasting time. So in this section, we can qualify them. Do they already have a pre-approval? If they do, boom, let's move forward. If they don't, here's the steps, how to get a pre-approval and why it's important. So in that, do you, as a scenario, do you have mortgage brokers that you work with that you can refer, like your prospects to, in order to get them approved or start the process as far as the pre-approval goes, but then be able to refer them back to you so that you don't lose that prospect?
Correct. I've had these kind of relationships for decades, um, because I've spent 25 years in the mortgage industry and now I'm in real estate. But it's the same process regardless of where you're at. You need to know that these people are financeable in order to be able to move forward with helping them with their dreams.
Awesome. So in this section, we could do it one of two ways. The way that we do it is we have a referral, right? So
Hmm.
you may have some partners that you work with frequently, and we can refer them to those partners. And what's nice about the system is I can track that information for you. Why is that valuable to you? Because now you know who came through your system, and you know, for example, that Michael Smith was came through the system, came on this page, clicked on I need a pre-approval, and you know that you can track Michael Smith with your referral partner. You could say, "Hey, referral partner, I just sent you Michael Smith. I need a status update. Did you work on it?" So you can be on top of these prospects in your own way. And we can also automate that part where it automatically sends an email to your referral partner and says, "Hey, here's Michael Smith. Let us know a status update." And if you don't receive an update within a day or two or three, maybe hours, you can automate that process, do a follow-up request to say, "Where's Michael Smith? Did we get his pre-approval? I'm trying to line up some house showing." So
Great.
there's a huge value there, because before, from what I understand, you needed an assistant for a lot of that stuff. Or if you did it yourself, how much time would that take to follow up, have that all logged, have it recorded, take your notes, and bounce back and forth with everyone?
Yeah, I'm finding that in this type of setting with a website that's built out to gather the information that I need from a potential client, it's much easier this way, making the website like a main focal point of managing the workflow. And that's something that in my whole career, I've never had tools like this.
So you see the value, right?
Yeah, like as my business goes left and goes right, up, down, I have now a support system that grows how I grow. So I can add modules for things that I need to track. Whereas before I just had a website with general information. There was nothing more than a website that was a business card, and it really didn't do anything else.
Right. And not to knock that down, but like, yeah, it's better to have something than nothing, right? At least a little credibility. Um, and it's kind of like a business card. But again, how many people are you giving your business card out to? And that's they only know that it's there if you tell them, right?
Correct.
We want
Correct.
to be kind of like omnipresent. We want to be able to connect uh, with referral partners and make their barrier of entry or their barrier of referral as easy and as smooth as possible. So if you're working with someone who's very inclined to send you referrals, let's make that process super easy. Give them their own landing page, let them fill out the information, and it comes right to you, right into your pocket, which it's beautiful, right? Have a good resource,
Mm-hmm.
have a low barrier of entry, and we build it out with that in mind. So with that, then we have the about page, where this will be populated more with who you are and what you can offer, your experience in the industry. So this is pretty much where we'll put that bio that you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And um and then we have another section that we're adding. It's called a silo, a location silo. So in your case, which is the case for many realtors, right? You kind of want to stay in your area, right? You want to own your area. You want to be the guy, the realtor for the Lehigh Valley market, for example, right? If you're the realtor here in Florida, you want to be the guy in the Tampa market. Like, so you
Right.
want to own your area. And one of the ways that we do that is, which with search engine optimization, is building a page that makes that message very clear. So with that, we have what we call a silo, a stacking of locations that are very pertinent to, for your case, the Lehigh Valley. We have the major cities: Allentown, Bethlehem, Easton, Northampton, Emmaus, um, and we can add to it as we go. But what this does is it helps you be found organically, right? You're up against all the major real estate agencies, but what you could do is content that's very specific to Lehigh Valley, and local people, when they search, boom boom, our intention is for you to come up as high up on the results page as possible.
Excellent.
So we have that already ready to go. um so with that said, one thing I wanted to go over with you was creating a survey, right? Because a survey is the basic information that's needed for you to move forward, right? You don't want to wait too much and take too much time on the phone interviewing every single one of these people, when all you could simply tell them, hey, go to my landing page here, fill out all the information, and then that way when I talk to you, I'll be prepared. I'll know what house, what budget you're in, what areas you want to look at, you could compare it against your inventory. If they're ready to sell, you can already do your lookup with your comps. So you come way better prepared by having that information up front. So we're going to build a survey, and it's going to be easy as just answering a few questions. What are the basic information that you need? And then we're going to host it on a page that will be called a landing page. where it will be like the onboarding, the step one process, right? So that's going to be all built out for you. Another thing that we have are funnels, which we have these guides that are already pre-built. We just have to brand them to you. So it helps me with time, big time, and it helps you with, you know, you don't have to worry about knowing the right thing to do. We already have it set up. So we have the seller's guide, we have the buyer's guide, and then we have the buyer's list funnel. So all of these are created with like basic information. Boom, I'm ready to sell my house. Boom, and now they have the intent. We have a little bit about you, and it's very simple. They're not bouncing around your site trying to go here and there. It's very clear. This is
Right.
what we want them to do. Um, I Again, this is just a preliminary placeholder, but I would like to set up a sequence of information where it feels nice and easy and natural for them to fill out the information, but little by little it gives you better and better and better information. Like, do you already have a pre-approval? Are you working with a mortgage broker? Like things that you want to get into before you start wasting time
Mm-hmm.
looking around and sifting through inventory. Oh, I want to look at houses first. No, there's a step, there's a system, there's a process. So, and all of that information ends up in your contacts tab, because here you'll have, right now we have to upload your existing clients. So that's one thing we have to do. That's the barrier of entry, the least, with least resistance. But we'll be able to see all your contacts here. And then in your opportunities is where you have, what you're most familiar with is pipelines, right? Being in the
Mm-hmm.
sales,
Yes.
understand this.
Correct.
So these pipelines can be customized. There will be multiple pipelines because you have cold leads, you have warm leads, you have buyers, sellers, and then you'll be able to track the stages, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
you'll be able to know what stage. If you already sold the deal, that's great. Maybe you still want to stay in contact with them and you can track, their progress. Okay, this customer you sold a year ago, maybe it goes into a whole nother funnel that you nurture them. But maybe you're in the process of a sale and you want to list the major steps in that process, and you could follow up now
Mm-hmm.
automatically. You could say, hey, did you get that inspection done? Like, we need that inspection so that we can move and close, or whatever it may be. But you can outline it all in this section and have a really good high level view of what's going on. Everything from cold to in the process to what's closed. So another nice thing is you can track the money too, right? We're all working for money. We're not working for free.
Mm-mm.
So in this pipeline, if you know the house is worth 250,000 and you want to put your percentage in, you could do that, or just do a high level calculation. But at least you could see a monetary value to each pipeline. That motivates you to follow up with, hey, if it's stuck in this stage, and you're gonna make $4 or $5,000 on that deal, like, you want to jump on it and be ready to help and finish, with the follow through. So adding a value to the pipeline is extremely important, whether you like it or not. So that's just a few little things. Now, I wanted to go over with you, what are some things that you really wanted as part of the system that maybe we haven't covered yet?
For me, I love the idea of the website being, because of the integration with the CRM, it becomes this living, breathing tool that actually works for me every day. It's the closest thing to semi passive income when you wake up in the morning and because of the marketing that you're doing and and you have leads already in your queue that you need to start and follow up on. There's always been a disconnection in my field between having a website, have it be able to generate leads for you, and then have those leads be able to be almost pre-qualified before you even talk to them. You already know their story, you know what they want to accomplish, you know how they want to accomplish, and it's all integrated together. I've never seen anything that does all of this except if you're one of these huge global corporations. But for the average Joe to have tools like this is absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, and it's not just me behind this. We're not, this is a white labeled system that I customize to my niche. So we have it's a tremendously big program that's behind it. Um, so it's not just Geo at Suncoast Digital that has the system. We
Hmm.
have a big support behind it. We have 24/7 chat that we can get behind, and um, the system's not just like just a website builder.
Correct.
And it's not just like proprietary to me to resell it. Um, I just have the benefit of working with clients like you, do a great build out and customize it to your specific needs. So I like being able to provide that support. Um, and one other thing I wanted to mention, right? Because you have been on that. I think you were telling me about Chat GPT, right? Like that you messed around a little bit with it, or no?
No, it wasn't me,
Wasn't you? Okay.
but I have done some research on it recently, seeing what it's about, and I think that it's absolutely awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing. So as a creator, right? We do use it. One of the big things that we use it for is creating websites, right? Or content to put into websites. But one of the things that you don't understand is how you have to learn the prompts. You have to teach it what you're asking. Like it's weird to say it, but it's prompt engineering. So you can't just be like, hey, build me a website, right? You wanna know what keywords to use. You want to know what to ask it, and little by little you'll be able to get better at it. So I already have your whole website built out right here in Chat GPT using SEO optimized content, right? With some of the big key aspects of having a website. So we have it all built out. It uses a lot of my existing business strategies that I already taught it. So it's going to build out things that are like referral partners, client partners, things that attract your visitors. Um, One of the nice things that I'd like is checklists, breakdowns, expectations, so that your clients know what to expect in what stage of the process. And then I make it look pretty on the website. That's pretty much what happens.
Nice.
So a simple chart would be something like this, so that it's like a quick reference for the clients, for your prospects that go on the website. They kind of see, get an idea, preparing for this is for the seller, right?
Hmm.
It would take a quick reference. It's approximate, obviously, but I feel like if you prepare your people, and you nurture them to expect XYZ, that it's so much less stressful, right?
Mhm.
They don't know what you're doing. That's why they hire you. They
Mhm.
don't know how to be a realtor. They hire a
Mhm.
realtor to do that for them. So having expectations is a big deal. So then I did it one for the buyer side and one for the seller side. And then there's the breakdown. Why? Why is it going to take 1 to 2 weeks for this stage? Okay, because this is what's going on. So on and so forth. So they have a clear understanding of the timeline. And what's nice about this is now I build the CRM to react within that timeline, whether it's reminding you or sending an update to your prospect, right? You sign them. This is great. Let only 1 week go by before you send the next email to say, hey, we're done with stage one, or we're done with stage two. We're moving on to stage three. And that's this part of the deal. So I mean, we've both been in business for a while. And um, one of the nice things is the value of communication is tremendous, right? If you're a minute late to an appointment, people want to know why.
Mhm.
They're worried. You're a minute late. You said 8:30. You're a
Mhm.
minute late. Where are you? What's going on? Right.
Mhm.
So in that spirit, what we do with the CRM with automations is keeping in contact so that you don't have to take out your phone and text and say, hey, this is going on now, right? We can automate the system to send out the message for each stage, what they can expect for the next part of the stage, how long it's going to take. We're winding down. These are all workflows and automations that, man, just relieve you from all of the nonsense, right? It's almost like, oh man, now I got to babysit. You almost don't want to take on more business because of
Exactly.
all the work that's associated to it, right?
Right.
So
And
that's why,
this I feel like I want to take on more business because the system won't collapse when I get busy. The
right.
system will keep working while I'm busy.
Yeah.
So it's like I have the effect of having maybe 3 or 4 different people on my team that I now don't need. Like that, this is a big, big deal.
Yeah. I'm glad you see it. So you have your website up. I have all the content. Then I'm going to start to populate into the website. We're going to do a follow up meeting probably Thursday where we'll fine tune the information gathering side of the process. That's where you would know more than I would, where it's like, okay, what do we need? What can they disclose over the internet without feeling uncomfortable? Like what are we asking for that's like too much or just enough for you to move things along and not waste time on the phone, right? You could coach them. Hey, our next
I
call.
think that if we could leave the social out of the initial and leave that for after I've consulted with them and have gained their trust, I think that would make the people use it more.
Yeah. And really, you don't even need the social right away, right? It's not you that's checking credit.
Correct. I don't.
So that's great. Yeah. And then what do your referral partners need to get things moving? They might need the social, right? Because they're gonna
Yeah,
run
they'll need
credit.
the social.
Yeah. So I mean we'll tweak that
But I don't
because
want the social to hinder them from filling out the information because we haven't spoken yet and they're on my site, or we have spoken, but it was only pointing them to my website and, building a little rapport with them. That may not be enough for new leads. For past clients, it wouldn't be an issue because
Right.
I've done business with them in the past. So I don't know if the criteria for a past client or a new client is different.
I think it is. I think it is. Um, but again, I don't think I think the finances is probably the more the the most private you need to get is, do you have a pre-approval? Because if you have a pre-approval, then we'll move forward to the next steps, right? Which is, what are your budgets? What does your pre-approval say? Like, what are your budgets? Like, do you have a down payment? Maybe that's even more personal, because
Yes.
you're pre-approved for 250,000, but you don't have the $25,000 to purchase a $250,000 house. So are we, maybe we need to dig a little bit deeper with those types of questions where you're
Right.
qualified. Okay, great. Do you have your down payment, like, liquid, ready to go? Like,
Mm-hmm.
how soon are you looking to purchase a house? How soon do you want to sell it? Is it you want to do it, get it ready for the summer, or you want to do it right now? um another thing I'm tapping into is the pros and cons of the imminent, or this idea of the market crashing, right? Everything collapsing. Like the pros and cons of the buyer, and the pros and cons of the seller, kind of motivating them to do one or the other, so
Mm-hmm.
that way they're not like, well, I don't know what to do. Okay, if you're in this situation, you might want to consider this. If you're in that situation, you might want to consider that. But I want to capitalize on like a trend. It's called trend surfing. People are very like on top of this right now. They
Mm-hmm.
don't know if they should buy their summer home in Florida. They don't know if they should sell their house and move and downsize. So we're kind of like, we want to we want to commit to that content, because it's going to be a pretty big deal in the next few months, right? As everything kind of plays out, as we see everything play out. But almost taking a neutral ground, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not pushing anyone, but just
Mm-hmm.
educating them.
Mm-hmm.
And along those lines, I know we've talked about this already. How do you feel about being on camera and making your own content, like having exposure to like social media? How do you feel about that for
I feel
yourself?
good about it. I feel like I have the right support. I feel like what I'm doing on camera reinforces the actual marketing system. Um, I feel like the CRM is more of a live marketing tool that manages the activity for you. And I don't think that everything works like that because I've bought other websites before in the past, and the startup and the lack of support, you know, calling an 800 number, having it take 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 minutes out of your day just to get one question answered is frustrating. Being able
Yeah,
to
it
get a
is.
hold of someone with a text or a phone call within minutes is amazing. So again, the efficiencies gained are on every single level of what you normally do on your own.
Yeah,
There's
and
no there's
and
no there's no competition. It's not even close.
and I love, like, so a 15-minute conversation, right? What I do with my clients, I try to do that once a week at least, right? Hey, let's just do a recap. Let me show you what I've gotten done so far. And then part of that conversation is, what else would you like to see, right? If it's within reason, or or if it's something that I can automate for them, now that just replaces another hour of your day, right? You may have not even realized that we could do something like that, and you're like, oh man, I'm wasting a lot of time doing this and that. What can we do? And now you relieve yourself to
Mm-hmm.
do, revenue generating activities instead of wasting time.
Correct.
So I think that's all the time we have for today. I hope if you're watching and you're a realtor, a broker, and you need a little help, you learned something, you could reach out to me. If you're a buyer or seller, reach out to Irving in the Lehigh Valley area, so he can help you out. But that's all the time we have for today, and we'll regroup. We have a couple more things to talk about.
Okay. Awesome. Can't wait.
Thanks for your time, Irv.